Ali Cairns.
Mr. Lee Danon, round two.
How do you say Cairns or Cairns? Cairns.
Everyone says it Cairns, but it's Cairns.
It's Cairns, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't a cairn a thing where you balance
Balance what?
stones on top of each other?
Oh, is it?
I had research. I was like, what's a cairn? Because you got the cairn gums, haven't you?
Yeah.
Is that spelt the same way?
No.
This isn't the podcast. We ain't going where we want to do with this podcast.
Oh, anyway.
Really.
It might be spelt the same way. I know there's a place in Australia exactly the same spelling, and I went there.
Up north.
Yeah.
Listen, let's just cut to the chase, right? Where have you been all my life? What's been going on?
10 years I was hiding from everyone.
10 years?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's still a decade. Where the fuck have you been for the last decade?
I don't know. Get myself together, sorting things out, carving out a new future,
Yeah.
shaping it up.
So 10 years, yeah? What's been going on?
That was just after breaking my femur and sponsors disappearing and, marriage breaking up, that sort of thing. And just sort of getting yourself together in the right place mentally to move forward, carve out some sort of income, future, rethink everything and get it together in a funny sort of way.
You were really deep into the skate industry. You just kind of thought, fuck it, I'm going to have a complete fresh start, because you could have gone into the industry, you could have found a job there and kind of did a lot of work in skateboarding because, you know it so well. But you chose to just carve a complete brand new life out.
Yeah, sort of. Well, no, not really sort of, just did.
Yeah.
Because I felt like at that time, and maybe rightly so, because you got these companies and they don't pay you for no reason. They want everything, it works like that. So if you can't do what they want, then they don't need you. Mm-hmm. So they just get, so all the sponsors, all the income, went. So I had no, that was my job. So I just felt like, well, I might as well just scrub it all out and just do something afresh, So I just started over.
Is that while you were rehabbing your leg?
Yeah, during that time, everyone and everything seemed to disappearing. Everything. Yeah, so it's quite a dark, lonely place.
Was that as well? Was that when you were you maybe said he was drinking and stuff back then? Yeah, and
Yeah. So you escape, don't you? And you find yourself a lot. Or I found myself going to pubs and drinking, just at first, just it just creeps up on you, and then you find yourself you're drinking a lot, and it's got hold of you and stuff like that. So you're sort of partying, escaping reality.
But you're doing a lot of that while skateboarding as well, though, partying and
yeah,
drinking.
But that was just sort of after you've done what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Then you party.
Yeah.
Well, you did that. We all did that. Everyone does that, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like you've already got the job done. But I found myself doing it without getting any job done at all. So it's just like, and it gets a hold of you. And I was recovering, trying to get my, my health back and my physically, able to do whatever I needed to do, walk at first, and then all of that. And then I needed to get my mind straight, and that wasn't helping. It wasn't helping anything at all. In fact, it was just making it worse. So I was spiraling down when really I needed it to spiral up.
Yeah.
So as much as I was getting better, my situation and my place was getting worse. But I knew, in my mind, I thought, well, I sort of shut the lid on skateboarding because I thought, well, the sponsor's gone anyway. Everyone seems to, because you seem like a lot of friends, a lot of friends seem to disappear as well, and you sort of soon find out who are your real friends, and that, and you just think, that maybe that's the end of that. Well, because maybe you don't know what. Well, I didn't know what comes after skateboarding. That's all I've ever done or had ever done, and so you just think, right, I need to just do something like normal, what you call normal, and just work. So I didn't really speak to anyone or communicate or stay in touch with anyone. I just worked.
And drank, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. So how long did it take to get your leg better?
I would say it wasn't properly better for a couple of years
Yeah.
on reflection, because I don't think I was healing at the speed I could have done.
Because he was just
You're knackering your immune system. Nothing's rebuilding very quickly. So it's just a slow, really slow process.
Yeah.
And nothing was bending properly, and everything was wrong. Yeah. So it took a while. So out of those 10 years, it's probably like 2 to get my leg better.
Yeah.
And then 4 to like work out what I can do moving forward, without any sort of skateboard involved in my life.
Yeah.
And then after about 5, going too long, after about 5 years, I started getting the hang of it. 6, got the hang of it. 7, I know how to live a normal life well.
Shit.
Yeah.
7 year itch.
It's not about that long.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And then I was like, right, okay, yeah, I know how to get up in the morning, do a proper day's work, get paid and spend it wisely. I got the hang of it.
Yeah, you got the hang of it. But you went from like living like this life, traveling the world, and you kind of just moved away from everything because you were in the mags. He was in like the skate limelight, so to speak, quite heavily, and you just kind of moved away from it.
Yeah.
How come? What wasn't there nothing dragging you back? Was you like, fuck? I just
no,
want.
I don't know. At the same time, like maybe at the back of my mind, I wondered if I'd reached my potential or if I'd had a good run anyway. And I think I was about 34, 5, and back then, you look at 35 and you think that might be a good, that might be about as long as you get anyway.
No.
And then you realise like 10 years later, no, there is no time frame on this. You skate you skate as long as you can. If your body works, you skate at 80, 60, 50, whatever.
Yeah.
So as an athlete, whatever you think, maybe 30, because you compare it to like maybe like, I don't know, tennis, or football or something, they sort of seem to sort of retire at like 35. And you think maybe 35 is when, you enough's enough anyway.
But maybe, was it enough in your head? Was you like, because obviously you was going through a load of stuff.
It always takes a little bit longer to recover the older you get. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't done. I've always rolled around no matter where I was. So I never stopped skating. But I just took myself away.
So we should just go back to the start, shouldn't we, really? How did you find skateboarding?
It sort of found me in a funny sort of way because my brother had a skateboard and that. So you know what you do? You do the same thing as your older brother. You like come along half the time. So I go to the roller rink and they had like a little shop that sold like the boots and the trucks and the wheels and that. But they had a catalogue and I would peruse the catalogue and they had skateboards in the back of it. And I was like, I don't want to roller skate. I want to skateboard. So I ordered one out of the catalogue and it came like 2 months later.
What did you get? What one was it?
It was a Sims Kevin Starb, really colourful, bright, pirate.
That's my.
I love that board.
What wheels did you get?
They were like Powell. I got the wheels much later. I had to get it in bits, which was
So you bought.
which is even funnier.
So you bought the board first.
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah, no grip tape. Then you think, hang on, I need some wheels, and then another 2 months. So it's like everything took time before I had it.
Was you still Was you going to the roller rink before in that time period?
No, I still had my brother's board, which with the wheels with tread on, and I would push around on it on my knee.
What was like the first time you saw skateboarding, like proper skateboarding?
It might have been one of those videos. It might have been one of those early Powell videos, like the Bones Brigade video show or something like that.
But did your brother have that or something?
No, I didn't. I don't know where I saw it, but
Central London. Were you from again? Not Central London. Was it on the outskirts, inside the M25?
no, just outside.
Just outside M25.
Manzouri. He gave me stick for years about that. He did.
You're not from London.
He goes, no. He goes, literally, like the M25 is like 100 yards that way. And he's like, you're not London. You're outside the 25. But yet you're still on the London Underground. You get on the tube, go into town like that. He said, no. So that went on for a long time. It's still going on now, probably. So outside the 25. Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were outside the M25 and
Just. Don't you start? You're doing it too now as well.
you live in Wales, then, do you?
So you go.
I mean, like if I live, once you get past the M25, Wales is really fucking close.
Yeah. No, but he had this thing, about the 25 view outside the 25. It's because he was just inside it himself.
Yeah.
He's in Uxbridge.
So Matt Anderson's from Chorley.
Matt's from Chorley Wood,
Yeah.
and I was from just down the road, Chipperfield.
And we was like the closest, nearest skate park at the time.
Harrow.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. It's sort of a game changer.
Who was knocking about then back then when you was at the skate park?
There was, see, I didn't realise this till much later, but there was like all the older guys, but they're, now at the time you just think they're just some guys skating the park.
Who was it? Any names?
Yeah, I can name drop all you like.
Come on, name drop. I'm a geek. I want to know about skateboarding. Who inspired you back then?
Yeah, but there was like Mick Foster, Roger Harvey, like Matt Bain. There's, you know.
Matt Bain as well, yeah.
Yeah, like. But then
Matt
you still
Bain.
had like all the guys that were there. But then there's others. You know, there's like Douglas used to skate the park. Steve Douglas.
You saw Steve skate the park.
I saw him once or twice.
Yeah.
But then there was people more my age. There was like Stinger and Gunner, and Pete Dossett would come to the park though.
Really?
Quite a bit.
What would Pete skate? We skate the half
He'd
pipe.
skate the bollocks. He'd do perfect like inverted hand plants on this hip.
Over that.
You know
yeah.
the little thing.
Yeah.
But stall it right up there.
It sounds like you're a bit spoiled, really, to be honest, because I'm like...
Yeah, it was like the timing of it all, because it was a funny thing at the park at that time, because if you fast forward a few years, it was completely different. But going there then, it was all like the remnants of like the late 70s and early 80s, but they're all still like the way they skated to those guys. It was like full on. It was like attack type skating. But then if you hanging around the park just for a few more years, then that freestyle area that we just over the way there, they stuck a pyramid in there, and skateboarding like changed completely from like to like really tech sort of flip tricks, and there'd be like Simon Evans, all those guys would be in that corner.
Yeah.
And then you'd have like Roger Harvey, Matt Bain, Foster, all those guys in that side, like going for it, you know, and these guys over here being way more calculated and, you know, flip tricks, you know, technical stuff. And you could see two different styles of skating just like in the same place, like both amazing, but both pulling in different directions.
Yeah, was that what got you into vert? The Harrow half pipe?
No. It was like getting to know everyone, and then they would go to a ramp in Crouch End near Finsbury Park. So that's when we started to sort of digress a little bit from the park, because it was a long time just skating Harrow, and then we go Crouch End, and then I became obsessed with like going to ramps. So we go to this. So we go and skate Harrow in the morning, then we go to Crouch End for the middle of the day, and then we go on to South Bank in the evening, and that became the routine for a long time.
Sick.
So we did like a bit of park, sort of skate the moguls and whatever you call them, bowls, and vert ramp, and then we're just streets of London.
Right, was you padding up then?
What for?
On the vert for
Crouch
End, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
That's when I started to get a little bag of pads, helmet, and...
Because a lot of people, especially your age back then, vert was like almost dying. No, it wasn't dying. I mean... But
yeah, that was weird though, because I if any of the older guys, because it was the older guys I'd go with, you know, and it was brilliant to be on the platform with them, because, you know, in between your run and theirs, you got to see and watch how they do it.
Yeah. So,
because I couldn't do anything much, you know. So I was just watching what they did and paying attention. But so I didn't, and if I didn't go with them and I went on my own, there'd be nobody there, no one. And I think I got really used to like quite happy skating alone with my own company, because vert was dead and it wasn't well liked either. I remember I was talking, you're talking about the guys, doing their tech stuff, and the guys doing their more raw attack stuff. Well, these guys would call those guys slash dogs. But anyway, so I'd go and skate different vert ramps, became quite obsessed. So I would want to go to all the vert ramps in the country. So I started doing that.
Did you skate Latimer Road?
Latimer. So we go Crouch End, Latimer Road, Stevenage, and then I wanted to go further. I wanted to go every one. I wanted to go Bracknell, Southsea. Came here a few times, Morpher, down in Swansea there. Yeah. And then went further up north. Wigan, Warrington.
Can you remember how skateboarding made you feel when you first got into it? Like rolling around on your skateboard.
Amazing. Just like real sort of freedom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just like, just to be able to go, nothing, you don't need anything. You don't need an engine or, you don't need fuel. You don't need money. You don't need anything. You can just pick your board up and go. It's just really just the freedom of it all. That's it, man. It still does now.
How long was it before then you did the, you got into skateboard into doing your first muck twist?
I can remember because I was 16, nearly 17, really. 11 to 5 years.
Okay, yes. Well, that's pretty fast because I actually remember seeing a sequence of you in the magazine doing a proper muck twist.
Yeah, I remember I was almost spooked out when I did one up in Manchester. So I just came home. I don't know why.
What do you mean spooked? How spooked out?
It's just like mental. It's just like, whoa, that's not supposed to happen. And
what kind of stuff was you doing on vert before that? What kind of tricks?
Oh, little airs, Madonnas and grinds and that hand plants.
Okay, so you used to kind of getting inverted a bit then, yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to do hand plants. But then hand plants became like a lot, with the street skaters and the vert slash dogs and the street skate, whatever.
Was that around like, the Plan B days when everything was just no grab, everything just catching it with your feet?
Yeah, when it was more like technical stuff on vert, you dare not do a hand plant. You get like, you'd see like new people coming in, like Tuss Peppers and stuff like that. You just like, ripping it up, but you wouldn't see them do a hand plant or an eggplant, or it would just massive kickflip indies and 540s and stuff.
Yeah. But fuck, so you were doing 540s right the way back then. I've always wanted to do a 540, right?
It's a really fun trick. Like, I liked it so much. Every time I skated vert after making it, I made sure I did a 540 till I hurt myself. So I did 540s every time I skated for like 20 years.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What maniac?
Because no. Because when you can do them like an air, it's just so much. It's a really nice trick to do.
Did you learn them easy? Was you trying? Did you take loads of slams?
No, not really. Because I would just hold on. I would sort of squat my way out of it. So I figured out a way of. Well, I didn't even figure it out. It's almost like by accident. I just.
But how? Like, what's the like? Where's your head? You're rolling at the lip.
I had a good spin. See, because I would do trampolining at school, so I sort of always knew where I was. Yeah, so spatial awareness was pretty sound. I would just look over my shoulder and, chuck the other shoulder down.
Yeah.
And just grab it, and it would just tumble over. It became like I just had a really nice spin, and it was easy for me to spin it. And it'd be the same every time, and I always knew where I was.
So it was just like a movement, and then it would just...
It'd be like a motion. I'd just do a motion.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because you got the McGill way of doing it, where it's like a twist.
But that's the kind of way you do it.
That's the way I learned it. And then the more I did it, it got flatter and flatter. And then the way that I liked it best is when it was like just in between. Mm-hmm. But you once you got good at it... You would find you could, if you were low, if you didn't have much speed, you could quickly snap off a real flat spin one.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But if you had more time and you were higher, then you could just like gently just loop out.
How did things change after you landed the 540? Because for me, in my head, it's like, if you can do a fucking muck twist, it's game on.
It was. It boosted my confidence to the max. I thought, well, if I can do that, whatever I can do, I can just go. Anything.
Really?
Yeah, it really changed my mindset. As far as what you can and can't do, I thought if I can do that, no problem.
Yeah,
nothing spooked me.
Fuck.
I was just like, do it all.
When you skate vert, you look like a street skater on a vert ramp, and when you skate street, you've got a fucking sick style when you skate street as well. So, do you think if you hadn't learned the 540, do you think you might have ended up going down more of a street path, or do you think because it was just?
Yeah, it could have been anything.
Really?
Yeah, because of Harrow, it could have been anything. I could have just got into like the street minimum. But I think because I skated everything all the time, it would have just been like an all round. Yeah. And I was always watching Manzuri, and Manzuri was neither either or anything. He's like rip the mini ramp, hammer the vert ramp, shred the streets. He would just do it all.
Everything.
Yeah. So he didn't really focus on any one of them, but he just ripped. So I would have just probably probably just done something the same. Yeah, but I ended up focusing more on vert because of that, 540 and the way it felt, and I just enjoyed like the transition and flying through the air and spinning. It was nice. Felt good. It felt really good. The rush you get from that was more. It's more like something you wanted again than maybe just ollie in a hip or.
Yeah. Well, I guess, is it because like there's like wall to wall to wall? Like this is.
Yeah, it's like rush to rush to rush.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, it's like a buzz. It's got addictive, a buzz. You get a buzz from it.
I bet it was.
If you're not landing something right too,
Did you
half of you got away with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then that was just as good. And it's like almost like, a little bit dangerous. I liked it. It's like exciting.
You called it Ewa Street. I know it as the Archers.
Yeah, see, that just springed up. That was only there for God knows how long, about a year. That's where everyone was going nuts. So that's where everyone was trying to spin 540s and just like ollie the park. People just, start. That's where the first time I saw people slapping their board, on the coping in like appreciation for a trick. Slapping it so hard it snapped the tail off the board.
Yeah.
I saw that a few times, but then there was all kinds of. That was like bumping into another scene all over again.
Was it Curtis and the M Zone guys?
All the London guys were there. Everyone, there was like Bleasdale and Curtis, and then Manzuri, obviously, and then everyone else. There was loads all over again. I'm going to forget them all, but it's like Earl and all of them, like Big Ben 10. And all the South, because everyone went to Ewa Street for that short amount of time, and because they had the little street set up there, but it was really that mini ramp that stole the show.
Burned into my memory is Curtis McCann's like fakey ollie fit Smith smashed, like, and then he just came in like fakey. It was fucking insane. So you got to hang out. See, man, you've like literally spoiled. You had Harrow, Stevenage, the Archers, Ewa Street.
And this is all when you're little and you're growing up, you're young, and then you're getting to watch and see these skaters in different places and all these scenes going on, and that was just normal for me growing up. But now I realise that was not normal, because each and every one of those person was like an individual ruler. So to be around them, it's just like nuts. Yeah, very grateful. For the timing of when I started, and the people and where I lived and who I got to skate with and, become friends with over those years, those early years, crazy. There was all kinds of people and then Carl Hart. See, I can't forget Carl, because we would go to all these, when I had my obsession with ramps and I still got it, he had a rail card, and children went for free. So we would skate vert at Crouch End, and then he would let me come for free. So we could go to like anywhere, Livingston, Swansea, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't have to pay for a thing. So got to see even more ramps.
So did you get to go to America for free as well then?
No. I probably drove the guys at the skate park mad, like Ray, and I think Ray mainly. I don't know that I drove him mad. He could just see my enthusiasm to like go further. And I just wanted to go to America.
Really?
Probably just to see another ramp.
What videos at the time was like inspiring you to like just want to go to the States?
I think there was some Santa Cruz videos that were coming out, and you saw like the San Jose warehouse, and think that ramp. I thought, ooh.
Was that like, so as a kid?
Yeah, you saw that, and you saw like Raging Waters.
I've seen footage. I know the exact ramp. So what? So as a kid then, Raging Waters, you wanted to go and skate Raging Waters. What?
Well, yeah, you just saw these pictures of these cool places.
Did you get a skater?
Nah, because it had gone.
Where did you get a skate that you really wanted?
But there was other ramps. There was like Fallbrook. You just could see all these ramps.
Did you skate Fallbrook?
No, but I like the look of it.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
legendary Fallbrook, isn't it,
Yeah, I know. But I never got to that. And there was Tony's ramp, Tony Hawk's ramp at his house. The one with a bowl on the top.
Didn't get to skate that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you get to skate that?
That I'd have to fast forward a few years. But after... No, not even a few years, about a year. But they hooked me up at Harrow to go and stay with Steve. So I flew...
Steve Douglas, yeah?
Yeah, Steve Douglas. So I took a friend from London, and because I was young still, I was still probably 16, 17, so I was very young. And so I took a friend, and Steve met us, picked us up from San Francisco airport and put us up for a week at his house or so. And we skated San Jose Warehouse. And then, because it was Simon Batten from London, he knew to fly down to like San Diego because there was a place, because McGill's skate park had just shut. So they had opened up a YMCA in Encinitas, which had plenty of stuff to skate.
Yeah.
So he thought, if we go down there after Douglas's, then we can skate there. So we went down there, and then all over again, you meet like a whole bunch of people, and a whole, it just goes, it's like you're hopping, going from like amazing people, amazing places, like constantly from when I was at school, as soon as I was at school, going on and on and on. It's just go bang, bang, bang. And then I found myself there in Encinitas, made a bunch of friends there, came back to the UK.
How did you come back? Because listen,
And then you know what it's like once you come back. After that, you just want to go back again.
Wanderlust, just like, just want to go back and skate this. Was you depressed coming home? You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You was, yeah? Was you gutted? Like,
Not depressed. You're just like, I want that sunshine back.
Yeah.
Because, it was just the weather, everything, everything about, not just the spots. The fact it was warmer, sunny, skate every day. It's nice. It just seemed like nice.
So when
it did seem like the place to be as well.
yeah. So when you come back, you were like 16, 17, do you say? 17?
I can remember because I came back and then I had my driving test, and I had one of those courses, you fail and
I'll keep put back straight in for
you
it
get
again.
like a week gap and then they give you a retest. So I failed right after my 17th birthday. And then I had a retest like a week later. So it's a week after I was 17 and my second test and passed. And the first place I drove to, I picked Stiley up from Chorleywood and went straight to Radlands.
Oh, shit.
And they
no
were
way.
still building it.
Tim Payne was building it, right.
They were still, and that was the first place I drove to. There's the first place I drove to after passing my driving test. Then it was just driving up and down to Northampton for the next 10 years. And, forever grateful for Radlands and Damien and Steve and Chris. It's the whole family. And because without that skate park, and that started a whole new thing all over again because it was indoors, dry, and Ewer Street had gone. So, and then starts Wednesday nights.
Or the Wednesday night sessions again, yeah.
And
who was on the platform? You, Dickie, all those lunatics.
the raddest bunch of people for a good long stretch of time.
Yeah.
It's like, Dave Allen, Sean Goff, Jim the Skin, Mike Edwards, Chris Harris. We all just had so much fun for such a long time. And there you go, all over again, skating with really good people.
I remember a load of us from Wales would just drive up to Northampton and skate on the weekend. And quite often you'd see Penny, Rune, Jeff a little bit, Chipman, and Jeremy Fox.
Not a lot of people know that, but Jeremy can skate. He's quite a good skater.
What have I got? He's not a freestyle skater, is he?
Yeah, he can skate.
Him and Rocco are like brothers then, aren't they?
Everyone,
Fucking
you'll be
Jesus
surprised.
Christ.
Like all these people that are running the show were all like
Freestylers.
really like Per Wellinder or Rocco or Jeremy. Or Don Brown. They're all like good freestylers, really good freestylers.
I kind of think you might be partly responsible for helping Flip launch into the States and blow up, because I've got a video here. This.
Yeah, I know where we're going with this.
Yeah, where are we going with this?
This is my voice. Yeah, because I got good friends with Jeremy, at the park and that, and he was telling me about how they're going to make that transition, move to America, and they were going to change. They already had Flip going on, and that was sort of, they had like two brands at the same. They had like Deathbox, DB, and Flip. They kind of steering away from Deathbox because maybe it was uncool, the name. I don't know.
2 Slash Dog, yeah.
Probably, yeah. So they were going with Flip, and he was in touch with Per Wellinder, And he planned a move, but he told me loads of really interesting. He's an amazing like visionary. He told me stuff that happened. He's like, this is going to happen in 4 years, or this is going to happen in 5. Sure enough, it all came right. But anyway, when they made the move to the States, he was pretty much said, "Come along." He did say, "Come along."
Yeah.
When everyone was moving out there, like Andy Scott, Jeff, Rune, Tom, Luke McCurdy, Deacon himself, and that, I was there too. I went too.
So you went out, did you go out with those guys at the same time then? Yeah.
Yeah, they came in like different stages. So Jeremy was there first, and I think Jeff came, like he really wanted to go.
Yeah.
And then Tom was there, and Rune was there, and then I came out with Andy a bit later.
And then you made this. Let's just check this on 2 secs.
Tom from Oxford, when he's not watching chat shows or rolling a fat one, he's skating really well. He's living the good life. Tom is sponsored by Etnies, Indie and TSA.
I can't believe that's your voice, man, after all these years.
Yeah, do you want me to do a bit?
Yeah, you should try and reenact it.
I can't remember it though now anyway. When Tom's not watching chat shows or rolling a fat one, he's skating really well.
Anyway,
Yes! Oh man, that's fucking sick. Do you know what? Because when that part came out, in 4-1-1, it just felt so fucking, I don't know, it just hit the fucking sweet spot.
Yeah, and, that was it. Flip had landed, because you didn't see that level of skating in America at that time. They upped the game like tenfold.
Yeah, they did.
And you're just like, they must have thought out there in like Huntington Beach in California, what is this? This is crackers. We need to sort ourselves out.
Yeah.
They must have seen that. They would have seen Tom and thought, oh, we need to relearn our kickflips. We need to relearn everything.
I think
we need to rethink the whole chopping lot.
No, so I remember, I think the US, before the 1 year when everyone came to Radlands for one of those comps, I think a lot of the US guys were laughing at his style. Yeah, and then they came back the following year and he won it.
Yeah.
And then they went to the States. You did your voiceover, and the rest is history for Flip, isn't it? So, but you went with those guys out there, and so you weren't looking to get on the new thing, Flip.
No, I don't think that was ever on the cards or anything. I was just good friends with Jeremy, and he probably could tell that I maybe had a bit of potential in that.
Yeah, he wasn't getting any direct boards. He wasn't directly getting board from a US sponsor at the time, or anyone. Just flow stuff through the shop.
Yeah, I still had the stuff at the shop going, but then it was all sort of fading away, and it was all sort of a time of change.
Yeah.
But it seemed like when you're a vert skater, you just one board a year, 6 months. It didn't really matter, you didn't really need for stuff. It wasn't like, but
how are you going to live in the States though? How are you going to survive in the States if you're not getting a tons of boards product to sell to survive? How the fuck did you make it work in the States?
Yeah, well, it's like Whoppers for $1 worked, but right before
$1 Whoppers.
$1 Whoppers.
You lived on dollar Whoppers.
Two a day, perfect. Yeah, 2
Whoppers a day.
Yeah, $2 a day. Yes, you can last a long time. $2 a day.
Yeah.
But right before I went, they had they did this because there was opportunities coming up because of Eurostreet. They had an ad. They were shooting an ad for Lucasade, and Manzuri, myself, and a guy called Spig. They had us do tricks because that was about the only, besides Dave and Fiona, there wasn't many people skating the vert ramp. So we sort of auditioned for this advert, and we all agreed. We agreed to split the money because they were only going to pick one of us.
Yeah.
But anyway, they picked me. I split the money with the other two, but that gave me a little bit of money to go to America with. So I had some money.
So you had the very first energy drink fucking paycheck back then, basically.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from that too, because they paid a royalty, so it came in bits and pieces. But then I noticed later on, further down the line, when things came up, they try and buy you out, or give you a thing. And I was always onto that, no, can't we just get a per showing.
Especially, yeah, look, we want that Lucasade dosh.
Yeah.
So you're out in the States then, you're not looking to get on Deathbox, and you just like, all you're doing is looking to just stay out there and
I just wanted to be back in America because I loved it.
yeah,
I love California.
you're chasing you chasing that pro dream, or you
Yeah, I was just constantly chasing the dream, the skateboard. I never really was like I want to be pro type thing.
Yeah.
But I just was enjoying skating. You wanted you not to have to worry for like products and stuff. But I just wanted to skate and that. And it wasn't long after, because there was the flip house with Jeremy's house with us all sort of living there.
So you was in the flip house of all those guys?
Yeah, so it's like Tom, Jeff, Rune,
Yeah.
Luke, Jeremy, me.
Give me just
Andy.
all those guys. Give me a rundown. What's a typical day in the flip house back then like?
Oh, just smoke. Just smoke and skate.
And a few whoppers.
Yeah. That's exactly how it was. But there was no vert ramps to skate. So it's like to skate like the high school in Huntington. And funny story about that. Because Bulala came along a bit later on. And he was young at the time, but he brought his brother with him, Omar. So there's Ali and Omar Bulala. And going to skate the high school late, like 12, 1 in the morning or something. And like a ledge that runs down the side of the stairs. And just, mess around. And I clattered my elbow on that. I got this massive sort of swellbow that just kept filling up. Because I was young, no insurance, no nothing. You just hope it goes away. And we went, found myself down at, they had the competition called Castle competition. It's California Amateur Skateboard League comps that you sort of have to do before, and you work your way up. And then you, turn pro and stuff. But then Don Brown came up to me, because Don gives you he gave us Brits when we all came out, because he was there, he's been there quite a while before.
Yeah.
It's like you got to know Don straight away. I think he was really happy to have more English and whatever.
Family in the house.
Yeah, out there. And he came running over to me and just grabbed me by the elbow to say hello. And this blood squirted right out of my elbow so high. It's like one of those sports drinks that you squeeze and shot up in the air. The colour drained out of his face like I've never seen before. And it just ran down my blood and just fluid.
What the fuck?
I think he was frightened. He was genuinely frightened.
Sounds like
it hurt me, or it was a joke, or...
Sounds like you played a prank on him.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I think what he might have just saved my life, because if that had gone further and got into my bloodstream, it could have been...
Squeeze the swellbow.
He squeezed it all right. It was squirted right up in the air, like so. It was... I can still see it now. It's just perfect. Right.
So how did you go from like the flip house to like Birdhouse?
I digressed there a little bit, didn't I? But so yeah, we would skate there, and they opened up that little ashtray sort of park in Huntington. So there was no vert, so we were just skating those two things. But I got a little job when I ran out of Lucasade at Birdhouse. But there was the odd thing that were coming up where you could skate vert, and so there was a Lollapalooza. They stuck a vert ramp it's like a small Glastonbury type thing.
It's huge.
Yeah, I didn't realise at the time, but they're all over America, aren't they? But this one was like right in LA. Mm-hmm. So we went to that and it skated there, which was great because I hadn't skated a vert ramp for ages. So I was all hyped. I was genuinely really wanted to get in there and skate all day. And there was a guy, Chris Robinson, who skates for Alan Losey. He's no longer with us. He's like LSD, the company was called.
Remember that company, yeah.
Yeah. Another really cool guy. And he filmed me skating that day. And he gave this bits of footage to Skip Pronier, who's a Black Label guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the footage somehow got back to like Black Label and Lucero, and it's weird full circle chain of events. And then they started sponsoring me properly, Black Label, after seeing this footage. But it wasn't, I wish I had the footage now actually, but I know roughly what was on it. But then, because Jeremy had the footage, and then it got to Birdhouse, and then Pear Scene, everyone saw it, and then he's like, could ride for Birdhouse. But so I was riding for Black Label anyway, and I was still in the warehouse doing my job for my bit of money to get by. I was shrink wrapping the wheels with a hairdryer, and Per Wellander just came up to me and said, I don't know if he said, you're riding for Birdhouse or do you want to ride for Birdhouse, but it didn't matter. He just said, you're on the team.
So you went from shrink wrapping birdhouse wheels.
I walked straight out the door. He just goes, get some stuff, take whatever you want. So I just put down the air dryer.
Did you?
Yeah. And I told the warehouse manager, I'm on the team, and just picked up some stuff and left. So I'm not working anymore.
Shit. And that was that. So that's how had you met Tony Hawk before that at that point and spoken to him?
No, that came a bit later. But yeah, I think we'd seen, you see people about, but it was never like proper chat.
He was on Black Label for like a month, like a couple of weeks or something, and then he went straight to Flip. Then he went straight to.
Yeah, so it wasn't long. I mean, because I hadn't been there that long with the Flip guys, and then you just get noticed in this bit of footage, and then it was like Black Label, and then as soon as you're on Black Label, it's like okay, and then the Birdhouse guys are just like on it. Then so
You must have been tripping out.
Yeah, it's and then you're just on Birdhouse, and it was just crackers. Like of all skate companies at that time, because nobody was sponsoring pro vert skaters, let alone amateur ones. You didn't sponsor an amateur vert skater. Why would you do that? So
At that time point, yeah.
at that point,
Because
in
it's
time,
completely changed again now.
yeah.
Now it's game on for everything again. But back then,
Now it's really healthy and good. Like you get sponsored for like for skateboarding, which is great. But then you wouldn't put an amateur vert skater on the team. You wouldn't even put a pro vert skater on the team
because of the trends, isn't it? And
Yeah,
because of street skateboarding.
Yeah, and vert just wasn't selling.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to buy into a vert guy, So yeah, I was on Birdhouse, which is crackers, and then the Flip House sort of disbanded a bit because everyone was going their own way. Like Jeff, they were starting to do well. So Jeff got his house around the corner, and Tom was off with whoever, Musker and all those guys. Because Ed Templeton lived just up the way as well. So he had brought in all the Toy Machine guys at the time. So not only was the Huntington Beach flooded with like the Flip guys, Ed brought in all his lot as well. So the scene in Huntington was just absolutely crackers.
Was that pre-Welcome to Hell? It must have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because Toy Machine and Jamie Thomas and all those guys.
Because Jamie would come to the Flip House every now and again, and so would Musker, and so would Getz would come round, Maldonado, Bam would be there. It just goes on, and it was just normal. You just think, because everyone was amateurs as well.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, Huntington Beach is amazing. He's thinking, this is great. But then you look at it now, you think, crikey, each and every one of those just turned into like superstar.
Oh my God, all of them, yeah, pretty much.
Everyone who was there at that point went off. But then shortly after that, Flip House sort of, evaporated. Andrew Reynolds came out. So I literally made the transition right out the Flip House into Reynolds' place because Birdhouse had got him a place because he just came out of high school. So he was going to turn pro always for Birdhouse as soon as he left school, graduated or whatever. So they had set him up with a house, apartment, came out, and then at the same time he needed somebody to skate with, so they brought out Jim Greco as well. And I moved straight in with Jim Greco, Andrew, and Brian Sumner just around the corner. And they brought in a few other Pete Birdhouse guys. There's like Mehmet Iodine from Germany, Chad Barty from Australia, all in Andrew's house.
And you was in that house with them as well.
Yeah. That's where I lived with them. But then everyone went home, sort of thing, and then it was just Greco, Sumner, me, and Reynolds.
What's the dynamics on that house like? Because you just said the Flip House was like just.
It was completely different. It was really straight. It's like Birdhouse straight.
Really?
Yeah. And then we moved down the road because the place was too small because really it was just for Andrew. There's like 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So we moved down the road a bit and the team manager, Birdhouse team manager, moved in with us, Jay Strickland, into a bigger place which became the Birdhouse Barrio. This like legendary Birdhouse Barrio. And that's when everyone came there. And that was just like Hayes turned up and there was all kinds of, there's a kid, Dave Tyson from Australia. He was one of the flip guys, but everyone would come round to the barrio, and Hayes didn't want to bring this kid over one day, and because he was worried that he was just too much, and he wasn't at all. But he warned us in advance. He came over one day with Dustin Dolan, and Dustin's amazing.
Is that when it went pear-shaped in that house? Not pear-shaped, but like...
No, that's when you could start seeing like something. Like there's something happening here.
But
like, do people wearing different clothes? Attitudes were changing. Like, wanting to stand out a bit. And Dustin brought that with Bulala and Greco, and then and they were just like digressing a little bit from what everyone else. They didn't want to look too, They didn't want to, doing their own thing, and you could see there's something happening here. And it was different. I was right in the middle of it, and I could see it, and it was brilliant.
Is that where the Piss Drunk started?
Yeah, it did start there. Yeah,
I remember seeing a photo in Rolling Stones magazine, and it was you guys. It was all those guys you just said: Greco, Reynolds, yourself, and Bulala, maybe.
Yeah, that was sort of the original crew. It's like, as far as like that was, I think at that point in time, that's probably one of the only photos we had of us together.
You skated vert like you were skating street almost, because you like the stuff you would do on the lip, all your lip tricks, all like that spinning, like alley fucking switch crook stuff, like 270 to like.
I just wanted to everything backside revert. I just like got into backside revert, did anything. Backside disaster, I started there and just started doing a lot of backside revert stuff.
You started skating the lip like a fucking block then?
Yeah, and I'd skate with Selly, Rob Selly.
Yeah.
And he would come up with ideas for tricks, and he made me think, although I was thinking along those lines anyway, but he would almost give me like the latest sort of street trick. Like, what about like a 270 nollie switch crooks up there? I think, but like,
come on, Sally, get up there and show me.
Yeah, he would show me on the block.
Yeah, get up on the fucking top.
Yeah, but he was quite right. There's no reason. I mean, you could do it vert style, where it wouldn't look right. You could just stab your truck in. But he was like, no, you need to get it in like deep crook, and then grind. Do it right, and then it'll be right. If you do it right. Like you do, just do it like you do it on a block.
You did a lot of spinning stuff, like a blur on the coping. I'm like watching you skate, and
and that's when I started enjoying like cab pivots, cab pivot disaster. Cab 5-0, cab 5-0 tailslide, cab 5-0 tailslide, backside revert, and then cab into a Smith pop off or whatever. Just cabs galore.
Did you get like mad stage fright with Tony skating in front of Tony Hawk? Because like if you're a vert skater and you're the only amateur.
It's terrible. I remember being in the barrio with Reynolds and Grex and Sumner, and Tony was coming over to pick me up for a skate. And sure enough, he comes up to take me to the ramp to skate. Tony Hawk comes to pick you up to go for a skate. And you're thinking, Christ, this is a long way from like Dingley Dale where I live. This is nuts. I'm about to go skating with Tony at his ramp. You get to the ramp and he does like a warm-up run with no pads, and you're thinking that's better than what I'm going to do all day. So he hasn't even put his pads on, and you get it's quite deflating. You say, "Oh bloody hell, is this how it's going to be?"
Yeah, it can do that though, because Tony Hawk doesn't judge you, does he?
He doesn't. That's what I realised years later. He doesn't. He won't skate with you and think you're rubbish. He would just.
You're on the team for a fucking reason,
because
you have your own bag of tricks.
Yeah, and he just, you could have a bad day. He wouldn't judge you like you say, because you weren't flying high or doing what he does. He doesn't make no comparison to himself.
Yeah. Was you filming for The End at that time then?
That came soon after, because Birdhouse were ready for this video, and they got a lot of good guys on the team. Pro guys, like instant pros, like so Klein was already there, and Willie and all those guys, but then they got like Heath and Berra and Rick McCrank, and so they were gearing up for this super video, and then that happened fairly quickly.
All shot on film, by the way.
All shot on film with Jamie Mausberg, which didn't you had no goes, at a trick. If you didn't look like you were going to make it straight away, then. Forget it. When just But it was heavily focused on like the pro guys. That's what it was all about.
Yeah.
The video. So the amateurs were only going to get like a little look in. So you just needed to get a few things if they were going to film you do anything at all.
Listen, if you get one trick on the end, you're fucking stoked, yeah?
Yeah. Just to be on that video,
Yeah.
your name up on there, instantly everyone knows who you are. And that was that.
So how close? So you had that part came out. The video came out at the end, and I know Tony Hawk didn't land the 900. He spun it and stopped, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we talked about this before off camera, but
I'd seen him. He showed me footage of him doing that at Plan B years before, like landing it. And he just rode onto the flat and just sort of
slid.
No, he didn't really even slid. He just sort of crushed down. He concertinaed down and just sort of bent in half. And I think he broke his rib. But he was rolling away from it. And he put it on the back burner till he was ready.
Do you think he could have landed it in the
I
end?
think he could have landed it then, but I think he saved it maybe save it a year and just bust it out at like the X Games or something.
Can't do that these days, can you? You can't save it for a year now.
Bloody hell!
Fuck, you save it for a day and you fucking some other 10-year-old kid is doing it.
Have you seen what's been? Have you seen like judo 900s?
Yeah, I saw that kid the other day.
Yeah, bloody. See, that's where it's gone.
Right, I've seen you spin a 900 and it looked really fucking good, and it looked like you could do a 900 when I saw you spin it.
Yeah, like it goes back to spinning and like knowing where I always felt like I knew where I am in the air.
Yeah.
So to spin 900s was like not much of a problem either.
Did you fuck yourself so you didn't chase it down? Like, how come you didn't?
I don't know.
pursue
I
it?
don't know why I didn't pursue it too much. I just didn't really.
Yeah, I think you could have had that.
I don't know. I reckon I could have probably. I got really close. I touched it down a couple of times. There was one of the Etnies Opens in Malmo one year. Yeah, off the ramp was smaller then, but then they had a higher extension. So I was trying them off the extension.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Lincoln, Ureda was there.
Was he trying them as well?
No, I think because he was there, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just maybe go that extra mile a bit. I was trying it though then.
That was before Tony was landed it as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was a thing. There was like people were trying them, like Tuss Pappas was trying them.
Danny Way.
But what they all forget, like Danny Way had tried it years before, and so had Alfonso Rules. Yeah, they were both trying 900s before Tony, I think, or they maybe were all trying them at the same time. I don't know. But people had been spinning. It was like chase the 900 dream.
Yeah.
So everyone was trying it, and then Giorgio Zatoni.
He got close as well, didn't he?
He made it. I think he's like might have been the second person to make it.
Oh, really?
I think so. And then Sandro
Yeah.
did it. Backside grab.
So how many? So all those guys have landed nines then
Yeah, loads of people don't.
after. Yeah, I mean now there's like fuck. I don't even know the names of some of these kids that are just doing 1080s and shit.
Yeah, you got that as well.
You know.
Yeah, but after it didn't roll out, very fast. I think a few people made it after Tony, like one
Yeah.
or two, Giorgio and Sandro, and then there's a bit of a lag.
Yeah.
Now everyone seems like a lot of people can do it.
Yeah. Stage fight in front of Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. Did you get over it? Did you get over that stage fight in the end?
Not really.
No.
No, not really. It was always trouble. It troubled me. I never could skate. I could never relax to skate the way I felt comfortable, just freely enjoying skating, like as you would do when you just go to Crouch End or what have you. I just never felt comfortable around Tony skating.
Just skateboarding, yeah. In general life, he's a nice guy though, yeah.
Yeah, he's nice. He's really nice. He's really normal, really nice.
Didn't you go for a meal with him earlier recently?
Yeah, just met up. We just had something to eat and a chat, and we were talking about injuries and stuff because he's recently, about a year ago, he had broken his femur.
Yeah.
And we had a good chat about injuries because that happened to me.
Yeah. So what happened? Did you come back from the States and then, because I know we're like kind of like we're almost going right through your whole timeline here. So what happened with Birdhouse then? Like the video came out and then you kind of like,
No, well, the video came out and then we did a couple of Birdhouse tours across America and that. There was something that came up here. It was like, it was a trade show and I was with Reynolds and Greco and all the guys in Warner Avenue. at that because we had moved from Barrio. So I'd come back, I think, because I was moving around. I'd gone to stay with Bucky. We stayed, which was amazing. A whole nother chapter where I was staying at Bucky's and we were skating together at the YMCA in Encinitas, which is amazing. And so I was, I come back again because Birdhouse was in Huntington Beach and went to Reynolds because I always go to Reynolds' place. It's like a spiritual sort of, if you go into America, you go there first and then whatever. And so I hadn't been there long and the end was they were just putting it together. And I got a phone call at the apartment there and said, do you want to come back to Earl's Court to do a demo, 40 Degrees trade show? I'd only just got to America, so I didn't really want to, but I went anyway because I thought, I can go and then I can always come back with the money. Just do it. So I did, and then I met my future wife there at 40 Degrees.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And then we got married and we had a lovely daughter, baby girl. Yeah, so then there was a lot more incentive to be in England there.
Got you. I just thought to myself, like, fuck, if you're riding for Birdhouse and you're in with those guys, you would have maybe stayed out there. But it makes sense. That's how you came back. Then you met your wife, and
but Reynolds had made it quite clear. Like we all knew because it was close. We were all quite tight.
Yeah,
and he's like Reynolds hadn't been on Birdhouse. He hadn't been pro for Birdhouse very long.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to do my own skateboard company and I'm going to call it Baker.
Yeah,
but he made it quite clear early doors, there's going to be no vert skating, no nothing. It's going to be street only.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an avenue. And I could see the way Birdhouse was going because Zitzer had gotten ill and so they didn't have a vert guy and I was the amateur. I wasn't ready. And I was probably too nervous around Tony anyway. So I thought, go back to the UK and just have a change. The European scene was going well, and there was all these etnies competitions, and there was plenty to do. And Red Bull were coming up, stepping in.
Was you getting paid by Red Bull then to do all that?
That came a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got put on the team, the Red Bull team.
Yeah.
And then that was good. And then I got that was a good little bit of income. And then I got on Billabong, and then I was sort of able to live like a normal person. Like it was, and then I started to realise because I thought professional was just like having your name on a board.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It's about like being able to pay the bills. Like it's a job. But then that started to suck the fun out of it. As much as it was the way it had gone, it was there was no way out, and I was already in.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And then you just, when you feel obliged and you have to, it changes things all over again.
Do you think it was just a lot of pressure and you just wanted to just have a bit more fun and not have to like be at the level of like, must have been really stressful. Like
it was, and there was pressure.
Yeah.
I put pressure on myself, I think, more so. So coming back and riding for Unibomb, and there's no pressure at all, and
Perfect.
it just felt great. They were some of the funnest years.
brilliant. Yeah.
Because I could just be myself, do my thing.
And those guys, a lot of those guys are fucking right laugh, like Harry and,
Yeah.
good times. And so was that the video yet? No, fuck, I'm going back before you. Wasn't the Unabomber video you had the Nolly 540 on, was it?
No, that was on the Baker video, and then I had another one of the cab tricks and for the opener in 411 being on the end, and the Baker video. So, get to America, you're on the end, you're on the Baker video. I was on 2 Baker videos, actually, because there's B-side remix.
Yeah.
On that. But they hijacked the Ring of Fire from the Dope video, which was the second video in after the Raggy video, and put that on the Baker video as well.
Did they just steal it off the Dope video?
They must have done, because I watched the Baker video, and I was like, it's a shitting Ring of Fire. What's that? That was from the Dope video. That we were on 2 years before.
Mad.
And they're thinking, well, how come you nicked that and stuck that on there? I'm sure they didn't ask for it. But anyway, so I saw that on there, and it all happened quite quickly. So you're in like a Birdhouse ad, you're on the end, and then you're in the Baker videos, and you're in America.
and 411 opener.
And the 411 opener.
So everybody knew in skateboarding you was just like a fucking full tilt rock star then.
Yeah, it was like, well, hang on a minute. It was like, for me too, I was just like, wow, like you just...
Like literally, it just seemed to be like there was loads of sections. You had like loads of bits and videos. It just seemed like you was everywhere at one point in time. So all these like all these like video parts. You had a bit in the bootleg video.
Yeah, and then where did it go? I think it went to, after Baker, then did it go Hating Life video?
Yeah.
And then there was probably a Unabomber head cleaner, and then there was first broadcast, and then there was Up the Rebels, there was a Red Bull video, there was
P versus D.
P versus D, obviously
Yeah.
that one. But I think that was earlier. I think that was right. I think it was still on Birdhouse for Pritchard versus Dayton.
No way. Yeah.
So that was, I think it went Raggy, Dope, The End, Baker, Pritchard versus Dayton, and then so on. So all in a few years.
Yeah.
Which was almost like a video sort of burnout, because everyone wanted you to do like, or asking, not wanted, to say, have you got any tricks? Do you want to part in this? And you can't reinvent yourself every 3 months.
Yeah.
So I just tried my best to do whatever I could. So some of my video bits in those videos would look quite the same, similar.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just, you can't bring it that far that quick in that space of time. Like,
No, because that wasn't very long either.
not at all, man. So like the pressure on you to like keep doing new shit.
Yeah, there's like eight, maybe even 9 videos in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Some people take 5 years to film one
Yeah,
part.
it's just...
So do you think this happened? You broke your legs. You had this vert ramp in your garden. You had a really bad. You had 2 snaps, didn't you? Two breaks.
Yeah, because I went to Shepton Mallet to that NAS event.
Yeah.
And I broke my left leg. I just sat down on a rodeo and broke that leg.
So you lean back on it.
Yeah, and sort of sat on myself. But I didn't even go to the hospital with that straight away. I sat at home and just put my foot in, because it's like halfway between your knee and your ankle. But my foot just was not changing colour. It just went black, stayed black. And I thought after a week, maybe more, I'm going to just go to hospital. So I drove to hospital. They x-rayed it. I just walked in. They x-rayed it. And I went and sat down waiting for them to say, like, whatever. And this woman came running out. I stood up. She's like, sit down. She's waving her arms, like, sit down. And took me in, stuck a cast on it for 6 weeks.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and that was before the femur break. So yeah, both legs broke.
I think you said you came back strong after the first break.
Yeah, after that first one. Yeah, because I did that. I had the ramp at home then too. So I was just at Shepton Mallet to do the demo or the comp.
Yeah.
And then I came home, and then I could, as I was, it makes you wonder, like, if you've hurt yourself and you've got your own ramp, like some of these people, you can get back into the swing of things quickly.
Yeah.
So after that, I got back into it fast, and I was probably better than ever after that first one.
Yeah, but then you fucking had the second one, which is like
The second one was just a disaster.
from what I heard, right? I hear that you were skating your vert ramp, you broke your femur, and you was led on the bottom of the vert ramp with your leg completely destroyed, compound fracture, and you pretty much could have died.
Yeah.
There was no one there was no. You was just skating on your own, doing your shit, like.
Yeah, see, that might seem weird, but it's like going back to the beginning. I was totally comfortable skating on my own. There's nothing unusual about going to the ramp on my own. That was just normal.
Amazing.
So I just went to the ramp, just skating, and because it's out the way in the middle of nowhere, it's like sort of in a field behind like my mum's sort of retail shop. Because that was just a place where it could be put.
Yeah.
Because it was just in storage down at PlayStation. They weren't doing anything with it after Urban Games. So it's like, oh yeah, I could stick that up. I'll use it.
Oh, you got that ramp, did you? Yeah, sick.
So so it was there, and so I'd just gone to the ramp as per usual that day, and just doing 540s like you do, like it's an air, because it was just a normal trick to me. Just got it a bit wrong, found myself sliding out onto the flat, grabbed hold of my leg and just was just all wobbling around. It just like picked it up. My knee stayed on the flat. And my leg came up towards my chest. And bone was sticking out, was bleeding. And luckily, though, because the shop was there, I just sat there for a little while shouting until somebody heard. There was one of the staff that smoked, so she would come out for a smoke break every now and again. So I knew sooner or later someone was going to come. And then she could hear me shouting and called an ambulance.
So was that like the last time that must have been the last time then you were fully skating vert then?
Yeah. And that's when, because word must have gotten out quite quickly and all the sponsors dropped me.
But they just dropped you?
Pretty much, except Billabong.
Yeah. What did it do to your mental health, like just being dropped like that? How did it make you feel like just being kind of...
Well, it just made me feel like this is the end of the line.
Really?
Yeah. Because if that's what everyone's thinking, and what do you do? It's going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You need to think about what you're going to do next. Yeah.
So do you think, what was going through your mind then? Like you'd had this really fucking bad break. You'd lost all your sponsors. You had all this pressure on you before that because you were like trying to just fucking doing all these video parts, all this coverage, all this traveling, all this touring. Was you like, fuck it, I need a break or something?
No, not really. Just thinking, well, that's unfortunate. You just think, because you're just going about your day. And, I always think back and I look at things differently like all the time now because something could happen in like 5 minutes that just changes your life forever. And you just think, everything's, it's a very fine, fragile life we live, where everything can be rosy. And then you can go to the ramp and you can just skate normal session and then it's over. You wouldn't have predicted that the day before or the second before. No. And it just runs and goes on for everything. Yeah. So you just think, I think about, stuff differently, like how, enjoy the good things.
You got hindsight.
While they're going on.
Hindsight, you got all the gratitude in the world, I guess, now for everything you had.
Yeah, no, I do. I really do. I'm grateful for the smallest things. Yeah. Right down to like the air that you breathe, or the fact that even if it's raining, I think that's good because we need some water on the grass. I don't think shit. It's raining. It's made me appreciate everything a lot more, every day, every second.
I guess everything fucking lined up and fell into place like it was meant to for you.
It just goes to show, but then it can just be taken away.
Up until that point. So you had everything lined up, everything just fell into place. And then through everything at the end, that was like the one, that was just...
So you're just going to be taken away from just like that. And anything could,
That must have had a massive impact on your mental health, though, on like your self. I don't know. Like some people are stronger than others, but I mean,
I feel like I was traumatized by it. Yeah. For a long time. Really. Not just the skateboarding, but just like getting divorced afterwards. Everything fell to bits.
And he was drinking at the time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the drinking came along like a little bit after. You just tried to escape. Drown your sorrows. Yeah. But that never works. No. You've always got to come back to reality unless you just carry on drinking. Yeah. You can do that. But then that is just the road to ruin. Your health will deplete. You'll end up getting close to death if you keep going or kill yourself.
Yeah. Such a slippery slope.
Yeah. I mean, and then I just...
How did you pull yourself out of it? How did you get yourself back from like...
It was like a massive moment of clarity once. It was just, I was just doing what you do. I kind of working quite well, sort of a functioning alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And I'd go to the pub after every single day. I was probably still drunk all day anyway, every day. But, getting tattoos and going to parties and all that sort of stuff. And I remember I was just at the pub one night and I was showing somebody a tattoo. And foolishly, on reflection, it's not the best idea to take your shirt off in the middle of a pub. You know, so
Why? It's fine.
yeah, well, one guy didn't think it was fine. So he just came over and just weighed into me like,
What, because you took your top off?
yeah, he probably thought I was trying to start something with somebody else, but I wasn't. But then I woke up in hospital and I had this big gash down the back of my head. And I think the fight must have gone on a lot longer than I thought because I don't remember anything. So I probably just got a beating when I was down. Must have done. Don't know what happened to me though. And I remember not wanting to be in hospital at all. And I had this big cut on the back of my head. And I said, why? You know, I was just drinking in the pub a minute ago and I was quite happy. And so I forced my way out of hospital. And I remember doing it because they were trying to stop me from leaving. It was in Hemel Hempstead. And I went down the road. I was still wearing like the hospital gown.
Oh, fuck, was you?
Yeah. So the back
shit.
was open.
No.
All of that sort of stuff. And right as I got to the bottom of the hill outside Kentucky, somebody had just crashed into the back of somebody else. And they were exchanging details, you know, because it was obviously their fault. The guy got out of the car to talk to the other guy, left it running. Right as I'm walking down the hill, I'm thinking, my house is not round here. You know, I need to get like 5-10 miles up the road. There's a car there and it's running. I'm going to just take his car. So when he's talking to the guy that just smashed into him, he's carrying on talking. He sees some guy, must have seen some guy coming down in a hospital gown, get into his car and just drive off.
You did?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah, so I took it. I technically didn't steal his car in my mind, but I really did steal his car. So I think at the back of the mind, there's always stuff at the back of your mind. Isn't it? So I drove to my mum's house with this car.
In your gown?
Yeah, in a gown. And I said to my mum, I've stolen somebody's car and I want to give it back. So she phoned the police and just explained that, oh, my son's stolen a car and he wants to give it back. So the police came over and arrested me.
Yep.
And stuck me in the cell. And then they got like whatever they do. So I was in the cell. I had some clothes by then. So I was in the cell in Hemel Hempstead. And then they come along and they just, I had to explain myself. And that I'd just been in a fight, delirious, didn't know what I was doing. And all I wanted to do was give the car back. And I had given the car back. It wasn't damaged, scratched, no nothing. So I gave it back. The owner was quite happy to take it back, not press charges, no nothing. And then life goes on thereafter.
Didn't get done for drunk. You were sobered up by then, yeah, obviously, because you'd had
I don't think I was. By then, because it was like a night had gone by. It was like the next day, so I wasn't intoxicated by then. And they'd probably given me stuff in hospital as well, so I was drugged up. You know.
come out of hospital. Like,
I was mangled. I was spangled. I was all over. I just saw this crash. I was like, I'm going to have that car.
Insane. So what that whole scenario?
But it was like waking up in hospital was like, I just think, I've got to stop this drinking, because you don't know what you're doing. If you're just taking somebody's car just because they're not in it, and you're waking up in hospital with a gash down the back of your head, and you never started anything anyway. It's all like, this is not right.
No, because
you're gonna die, because if you can't remember a thing, you might.
Yeah.
It could be over any second if you don't even know what you're doing. So the drinking had to stop, and my health was going down the pan. I remember I bruised myself, I clatter my knee or whatever, could be anything, and I get like a massive black bruise quickly, and it wouldn't go. And it's because my liver and the organs were shutting down.
Really?
Yeah. So the signs were there, and I wasn't eating. It was all going wrong. It was going very wrong. Fuck. And with the events and the health, and I knew, because I would shake. I would shake until I filled myself up with booze to the point where I could stop the shakes.
That's so far ago.
And that was just to function as a normal person, like us now. Like I had to drink that much just to be normal, and that was horrific. I was never ever drunk either, because my body was so used to it.
Yeah,
I had to just do that to function. So I could drive perfectly. I could hold down a conversation perfectly. I could work all right, everything, all of it. But waking up and shaking until you give your body what it wants.
And that was it. Was that enough? Somehow you found clarity in that moment.
In the waking up in hospital moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, and then the stealing the car. It was getting too much. It's like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, but you had the sense inside of you.
Yeah, somewhere.
You had you had the power, the Ali power inside you, the same fucking...
But it really did feel like you can either pick one or the other.
Crossroads.
Yeah, die or not.
Yeah.
I looked at it like that.
And then from that point on, you just kind of pulled yourself out.
I just chose life.
Really, yeah.
And that's where I went. And everything has just got better and better since. You could not make it up.
Really?
Like changing, you drinking for a long time and you stopped.
Yeah.
You know how things just start to fit in place.
Yeah.
Like, once you take that alcohol out of your life, your life is going to get better regardless. And things just started to happen. I had a little bit more money in the bank. I was spending it on things that, handy.
Yeah.
You get your priorities straight. You'd have like 90% of your money for like booze and 10% for like your loaf of bread and your eggs, your shoes or what have you. And then you realise this is upside down.
Yeah.
And then if you change it to like 100% of your money for, sensible stuff, naturally everything's going to get better.
How long did it take you to
It wasn't straight away.
No, it wasn't. No, I guarantee it wasn't. So what was the process for you, to get out of that?
Because I had to wean myself down because I started, because I was on it. I was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So I seeked sort of advice on stuff because I knew the condition that I was in, and the advice that I was given was not to stop dead. Because your body can shut down, to cut down, and so basically I was told to carry on drinking.
Really?
Yeah, because I was drinking so much. If I stopped, I could have died from stopping.
There's another thing with Lemmy, because Lemmy went to hospital. Lemmy Motorhead, rest in peace. And I don't know what was going on, but they said, "Fuck me, you can't just stop."
No,
you'll end up having a fucking some sort of shock thing from nothing in your system.
Yeah.
So you wean yourself out of alcohol.
Yeah. So I was told to carry on drinking. So I carried on.
How did you manage then? Because that's sounds like really dangerous. Because carrying on from that point for me, without knowing that you can die from the shock of stopping drinking.
Well, it's horrible because you didn't want to drink.
You didn't want to drink,
but you knew you had to. So you were just it's like you were just self-medicating yourself off to where you want to go.
And how long did that take? What was the process?
Because I was up to such a high level. I was having 24 cans a day. I would have a crate a day.
Yeah.
And whiskey.
Yeah.
A day. So I just cut it down to 12, 8, 6.
So you knew what you was doing. You knew you were cutting down. You was drinking, and you knew you was cutting down.
Yeah, until it got to I think it got to around 4.
Yeah.
Then it was 2, and then there's no point in having any.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stopped, and I've never touched it since.
And how many years ago?
7, nearly. Best thing I've ever done.
It's taken 7
and
years.
One of my biggest achievements. I think you forget all the skateboarding and all
Really?
that. Yeah. Stopping that was probably the toughest challenge and the best result goal, out of anything.
What did you learn about yourself through that process?
I learned that I can really actually do everything I want, anything I want.
Yeah.
If I want.
Yeah.
Whether it's a hard trick or stopping something, beating,
Yeah.
your demons.
Do you,
So I'm not afraid of getting another addiction.
you're not afraid of getting an addiction?
I think I've got one as well.
What is it?
It's vanilla lattes. And it's making me fat. But I think because it's all about your mind and your will, whether you'll find out if you're you can rise to the challenge.
Fuck, but it took you all that to get out of that, man.
Yeah, and because it was it's not easy to get out of it, not quick either. It was more reason to never ever want to go back there because you realise how much of a struggle it was to get out of it.
Did you get help? Did you need AA or anything?
I did AA. I did everything you can think of. I did AA. I went to this place where you just stayed for a week. It's called Sporting Chance.
Yeah.
Down in Lip Hook, and I was in there not just with people for drinking. They were addicts.
Yeah.
So there was one guy that was addicted to cocaine, a gambler, a boozer. So it was just addicts. It wasn't for alcohol. It was for addictions.
Yeah.
Because I think I found out a lot in there too. There was, I took away a lot from that stay there. And even though it was a short amount of time, I realized that I just have an addictive personality, whether it be toward like anything. It could be skateboarding, it could be drinking, it could be smoking weed, it could be loving a person.
Yeah.
I just full on until something snaps.
So you've learned about the addictions then.
Yeah, so I can sort of balance myself mentally, knowing the type of who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it gradually works out who you are, which is there's a silver lining to it all. Yeah, because you come out the other side and you're sort of like, yeah, I'm all right, and I know who I am.
You've been through it all, Ali. You've been through the lot.
Yeah, and then you come out and you just know what you love and what you want to do, and who you are as a person.
And here we are. You've got a mini ramp in your back garden now.
Yeah. So anyway, because of getting straight and getting working again and feeling good, I always sort of skated along the way. And lost the weight because you put a lot of weight on with booze. So I was fat. So I spent a long time like getting thin after stopping the booze. There was another challenge all over again because I finally got away from the booze and you find yourself fat. I was 15 stone and I hated myself. And when I was pushing around these car parks and stuff, it's so heavy on my knees knackered already. And I was 15 and a half stone pushing 16 stone. I was like, I've got to get away from this weight thing now as well.
And then what do you do how did you get yourself fit again?
Yeah, see, then it was another challenge. It was like, I've beaten the booze, now I'm going to beat the weight. So I went on a 3-year weight loss challenge, which I did gradually as well. So I took up swimming because there's no impact on my joints.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that because there's no pain. And I just swam off the weight pretty much. And I skated more around this car park at the gym. So I'd swim, skate round, swim and skate round and work.
Just cruising around
until I got back down to 11 stone, where I'm at now.
You got to 11 stone you went up to like almost 16.
Yeah, I was 15 and a half when I got down to 11. Which is another thing I'm proud of as well. As much as a booze, I'm proud of like conquering the weight and the challenge of losing weight as well.
Absolutely, yeah. There's just like...
It's always good to have some sort of goal, something to aim for and a challenge.
Hyper focus on like just getting... You've quit the booze, you've got that, now it's time to get fit.
Yeah, and now I wanted to be fit. So I went for that one next. So I got fit. And then you can get too into it though. So now I've got to eat like a little bit and give myself treats and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can't get too thin. You don't necessarily need a perfect 6-pack and all that, do you? So I got fit, and then because the weight was gone, I was able to skate more normally, just because I wasn't so heavy, and it felt like it did when I was skating when I was younger. So then skateboarding felt more normal, and there's like, this is right. And then I just moved back. I moved back into my house, and there's a gap at the end of the garden, and there was an old knackered shed with no roof. And I thought, stick a little mini ramp there and keep that feeling of the transition in your legs, because I was just so used to the flat and skating car parks.
Yeah.
So then built a little mini ramp this Christmas just gone in the snow. And now that's there. So I've just been messing around on that and having fun on that.
So this next chapter, we're on the next chapter, Ali.
Yeah, it seems that way. How many more chapters?
Well,
it seems like bloody hell. Like, but I don't know where. I never wanted or expected, and you just go through life, don't you? And then chatting to you, today, you just think, yeah, Christ, there's like quite a lot of like different moments, like up and down, going all through. But it's probably for everyone, same.
You've found out a lot about yourself through all of this, like you know what it is that you love in life, and what it is to be content. And I found it wasn't that long ago. I really felt
inside myself that I'd found like a place where I was content.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I went to see like a good friend, Adi
Yeah.
Kitachi, who's got like he has a tattoo shop in Vicky, and just got a tattoo like contentment, because I just felt an overwhelming feeling of like content with like life at home, you know, the way things are, the way, you know, my daughter's doing well at school, you know, got a lovely girlfriend, skateboarding's freedom's back, all that, still working hard, paying the bills, and I just felt content, like I come like full circle, and I'm doing it both, all.
So is that like how you've resurfaced on social media, so to
That
speak?
was down to COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ella, my daughter, was coming to work with me because the schools were shut. You would know that. And she said to me one day, because she put photos of herself and her friends up on Instagram, you know, and I always thought it's for like girls and like filters and, you know, makeup and all that. She's like, Dad, why didn't you just put some, you know, some of your old skate pictures up? So I put a couple up, and then I just got back in touch with like all of my old friends. And then you just think, hey, no one's forgotten you, and you didn't need necessarily to disappear in the way that you did, but don't matter, because you're back to where you started.
Do you find like you had to find yourself inside of all the fucking madness to come back and just be?
Yeah, it was weird, because I'd almost turned into like a different, you know, a different person all over. I can separate my sort of skateboard self from my normal,
Yeah.
you know, working self, and so I can look at both, you know. So it was hard to go back into like, you know, meeting up with old skate friends and stuff again, because I was almost, it was right on the cusp of whether I could have been gone right down the route of being like a regular guy, you know, with nothing wrong with that, and just put skateboarding to bed. But it didn't happen.
Thank God for that.
I don't know why it didn't happen. Something dragged me back.
Do you know what? There's not. You can. I know you didn't have a lot of people around you, but it's only you that can really get yourself out of that.
Yeah, I found that.
Yeah.
Most people will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
You can get as much help as you want for like all these addictions, but really the help is always there. It's just inside you.
Yeah.
I treated it as a challenge inside myself. It's like, I'm going to beat myself at this. You know, I'd think, I'm going to beat you. And I was talking about me. I was talking to myself
That's
all
the
the
way
time.
you do
I was
it.
like, I'm going to beat me. I'm going to beat you. Looking in the mirror, I'm going to beat you. And so I was going to beat myself at this, and I was going to win.
And you fucking won, but
Yeah.
yes, it's fucking Ali, crazy fucking story of like from being a kid through to hanging out with Tony Hawk and being like just jetting around the world and just living the fucking best life you could ever possibly be gifted and imagine, to then all the way fucking right to the polar opposite end of the fucking spectrum, and to get yourself from that, man, to go through all that, and then to be down there with you telling me like waking up in a hospital and then letting yourself out and running out and stealing someone's car in a dressing gown, and you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's gnarly. To come back to where you are, man, and to have you back and being healthy and like there though,
Yeah.
like there in your head.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a fork in the road. And then getting to this stage now is another challenge again. Like, it would have been very difficult a year or two ago to come and see you.
Mm-hmm. In what way? How would you think?
Because
where was your head at then?
I'd be thinking, you know, does he remember me? Why do I,
Fuck.
you know, or, you know, what will it, and you start to overthink things. You're thinking, what did he think of me? You think, how much of a bastard was I? Was I ever a dick to anyone? And, you know, you just wonder all these things. You just, well, should I just stay away? I'm quite happy staying away. Or should I just go and say hello again? And just, you know, because I was happy just skating, and as I've always done, on my own, doing my own thing. Didn't necessarily need to go and say hello to any of the old friends and stuff. But I thought, well, why not? And it's halfly down, you know, Marty is to blame.
I was just going to say, Ali, you know.
He encouraged me like no end. He's like, what? Because he got in touch on Instagram.
And we're talking about Marty from 40 Skate Co.
Yeah, and he was. Why didn't you just go? Have you ever thought about going to a skate event? So I went to. I thought it'd be nice to go because there was a Harrow Jam. I thought, well, the one place I can go back to is Harrow, and that's where I saw you.
Well, that's funny, man.
And that was the first place I went after like 10 years.
Really?
And I was shaking, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal for me. And on the way up here, funnily enough, Dan Cates just put a story of us at Harrow Jam. It was probably a year ago now. You know, all of us together, Shane O'Brien, Dan, and myself. They're just having a laugh from that day. It's funny.
Amazing.
That sort of weird sort of trip.
So sick. Because I remember the Harrow Jam was on, and then I saw you, and I was like, oh, fucking no fucking way. And then you said exactly the same.
I saw you, and I thought, you know, you go to everything. You know, you've never stopped. So you just, you know, this is just another day hanging out with everyone. But then it wasn't quite the case, was it?
No, I saw you, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen anyone for ages. But so much different for you. Like, so it must have took so much more strength to do that. And you realise, like, when you go there, it's just exactly the same.
Yeah, and that was
Pick up where you left off.
I mean, it's just so nice to feel welcome, and then you just realise like the skate community is the best thing. 10 years, 2 years, once you're involved, and it's just you're part of something that's very special.
Yeah,
very special.
It sounds like it's come back round again because you said you spoke to Marty from 40 Skate Co. And shit. So we should just get this out, shouldn't we? We should have a look at this. Let me grab something. I don't know, man. So you've got a new board. You've got a board on 40 for everything you've done in the past. So
yeah, which is that's more special. That's that's very special to me because it's like recognition in a way, which once again, like really grateful for that. Maybe I contributed to maybe inspiring or innovating a few things along the way that people remembered, because people do remember some of the things that did, and that. So I look at that, and because I've got that, I'm very it's very special to me. I'm very grateful for that. That's probably the one board, because there was 6 other boards on Unabomber, but that is the one that I treasure the most, because that's my whole journey.
And there we go. Like, you're out in the wilderness for all that time, and it has always been there, but like your head can take you to some fucking dark places and take you away, can't it?
Yeah. But I couldn't imagine that. That was never on the cards.
When he was in the pub taking his shirt off.
Yeah, exactly.
Oi, look at this tattoo.
So it just goes to show what life can give you. God knows what's going to happen like in 10 years or next.
Yeah.
None of us know.
Yeah.
I would never have dreamed that I'd ever have another another pro board.
Oh, it's so good to see your name on the board. And I know you've been through, I know a fraction of what you've been through, Ali. And it's just fucking sick.
Yeah, that graphic actually means there's a story behind the whole lot. I mean, it all means something, and it's all like true to sort of my journey.
Yeah, talk me. So the spiral of life, yeah.
The spiral is sort of like the journey. Can I take that?
Yeah, you should take that.
I want it.
Yes, yours.
Can I have it? Can I put it down? Or can I just?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Let's have a look where we can. Let's move this out of the way. Maybe me put it by there somewhere.
Yeah. Can I plonk it down there?
Yeah, stick it on the top. There we go.
So, this is just the journey that you take in life, I suppose, and that's your direction. Where it's going. Whether it's withering away or blossoming, there's your tree. And the 7 is because it was the 7th board. 22 is because it's actually a reference to a date when I met somebody that changed everything. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted this raw wood grain. So each and every board would be unique, even though they are anyway under the paint. Yeah. But if you just look at it, if you had 2 or 3, they're all different, but they're all the same. And then the spirals are to do with like the dark phase of like being spangled or not with it, or just off the chart. So it's, you know, it's all in there. So it all means something. And it's just very special to me because of what it all represents.
Absolutely. So 40 Skate Co., when are we going to see this on the shelves? When are we going to get
I don't know. That's all up to them.
It's up to them, yeah?
Yeah.
Sick. Only one thing left to do, really, is just fucking...
Ride it.
Next chapter. I'll toast. We'll have a toast of liquid death to that. Ali Cairns.
It is.
Ali fucking Cairns. Yes.